Hey, good morning, people. Hey, Carew. How you doing, friend? Shouldn't you be in bed? Shouldn't you be sleeping? Hmm? Oh my gosh. Mmm. Coffee. I feel the love. I do feel the love. Now go to bed. Go sleep. Gosh darn it. Oh my gosh. So angry. No, I want to go to sleep. No. No. I'm not sleepy. Me. That's my impression of you. Oh, come on. Why is the game not properly showing up? Fetus? Is it this then? There we go. Hey, good morning, Stony. I got emote only active. The fuck? I do. Jesus fucking Christ. There we go. Yes.
Welcome to
I'm
all
so
things
sorry,
Scottish.
gang.
Our slogan is, if it's
Hey,
no Scottish, it's
bestie.
crap!
Shun the non-believer! Shun!
Ad break ends. Oh my gosh. We're in an ad, gang. Supreme Cells. Ooh, Wraiths. I actually got stuff I gotta get done today. Let's see. Midas Touch. Fuck yeah, man. Poor Karoo couldn't say a word. That's why they were posting emotes. Yeah. I just thought Karoo was like in bed being too sleepy to write anything. I think you commuted pretty well as well. Alright, we got Duelists and Wraiths. Don't care too much for that. Soul Fighter we could keep. We'll see. It's only 11:30 your time. Whoa. Only? Whoa. Currently in a 5-stream streak. I love that they've introduced streaks though, because it kind of, at least to me, it it gives you this feeling of like, oh yeah, I'm a badass. We don't care about crew. 4-player and then gold. You can't choose your carousel rewards. We're gonna go with a hard bargain there. Might not be the smartest move in the world, but we gonna hope. I'm in New Mexico, below Colorado. Right, the Breaking Bad state. And we talked about that some other time, I think. Karoo streams just to launder meth money. That's her thing. No, probably not. I say probably because you never know. You never know. What if, like, in a few years' time, read in the New York Times, like, oh, massive upset, local streamer, local New Mexico streamer, outed as meth kingpin, queenpin, technically, I guess. Alright, we got prodigies now. And I do like myself some prodigies. We got wraiths too, though. We can sell you I'm gonna save those. Love you all, but now actually we'll go to bed. Because you're bold enough to be a drug queen. Go to bed, Hiru. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for being here. Love you, friend. Oh my gosh. Also, that is such a good way to just deflect blame. Like, oh, I wish I was cool enough to be a drug queen peen. Teehee. I'd never puts a bullet in someone's kneecap. Oh my gosh. I gotta take off my shirt. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go off stream for that. You're not allowed to see my boobies. My boobies are mine. I don't even know what I'm doing here. There you go. Prodigies and wraiths. Fuck yes. Nice. Nice. 7 stream streak. Yo. I'm so bad at getting the streaks, though. Roar. Asshole. He killed me. He made me die, dude. No. I was standing by my standing desk. Ooh, standing. I even got my like Birkenstock slippers on, just cause like they're good for the weight distribution. Having something to stand on is pretty good. Oh right, I'm not allowed to choose anyway, so alright. How's everyone doing today? How's Stony? How's Bestie? Are you alive? Do you want to be alive? I'm good. Nice! Nice to hear. That's a heavyweight. Let's put him there. Bestie's good new stuff at school today with my new teacher. Noise. I want to be alive. Burnt alive. Yeah, either he's cold or he's just being edgy, you know? Where the fuck did I put those recordings? There we go. My files. This is not where it's at. Oh wait. Chapter 1 through 10. There we go. Nah, I ain't cold. Edgelord Stew to the rescue Q. Alright. I got like... I started recording Pride and Prejudice for the wife for her birthday last year. And give it a couple minutes, doctor will be in pain. Don't make me pain. Be nice to me, please. I need to grab those recordings and actually make them into MP3 files. Just don't know how, because they're like just voice recordings on my cell phone right now. I can see that I transfer them to my Google Drive. And they're M4A files at the moment. We could do that, I guess. Make it happen, my dude. Do I even have the shitty cam still? Oh my gosh, I do! Jesus. It's alive. Wait, we should probably calibrate it. Oh, that's actually not bad. There we go. It's not the suckiest thing in the world. Edgelords. Hey, look, it's Stu. Fuck. Let's do that. We're gonna save those. Because like a double Ginzuos is good on any, if we're going with that or Supremes. What's the debt up to anyway? Oh my gosh, I don't even know. Wait, let's see if the bot is alive. Hey ducky! Honk 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 honk! The bot is not up. You know what? I think I said this, if not here, then to the wife, that when the push-ups come back, I'll just change it to 3,000 flat to make up for the fact that I've been out of it. Tiny but deadly. Invested is a good one. We're going with invested. No, of course.
The debt must be paid.
Well done, Ducky.
Right. Now.
You're the one to bring it back. Awesome stuff. Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, let's see if we can do this. Is there enough room here? I totally forgot about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh jeez. You get 10 pushies. Yeah, the bot is dead, so we gotta do this manually. 2,990. Yeah, well done. I'm impressed and sad. I had to do push-ups. Get the fuck away. Alright, the prodigies, we're waiting for those. The wraiths, we're waiting for. Probably won't be seeing those wraiths, though. And supreme cells don't seem to be showing. Prodigies and heavyweights have been here for us so far. So we're probably going to continue going with that. Convert M4A to MP3. Thank you. Cloud convert. All of those free conversion sites just scream shadiness to me. Even though I've never gotten a virus from them, I'm still like, ooh. There's a pillow swine in the chat. And we're gonna download all of them. Sipping 10 files. Alright. Pokequatch, get quite bold. There's a new Pokemon game out on the Switch, Pokemon Legends A to Z, or A to Z, if you're so inclined. And my kid brother's been on my case about getting it. He thinks I should invest. But I don't know. Rates could be okay. I've been seeing some edgelords, but I don't know. That game's such good design on the buildings. That feels like you want to burn the buildings down, Stu. Jesus. Stu the burner. Um. Let's see. They're in downloads. Alright, that's a Prodigy at least. Oh, fuck off. 2 Yonis? That's like too good to pass up. Am I just gonna switch to edgelords mid fucking fight? That is too good. Double Yoni right there. Alright. There's not much to burn with the buildings in that game. Yeah, because it's mostly like... I assume it's mostly concrete and shit. But have you played it, Stu? Stone Cold? Stony Stone? I mean, I can't say no to the edgelords at this point, right? Yeah, no. I gotta go for the edgelords. Edgelords and heavyweights is what we're going for. Yeah. See, there we are. Oh, jeez, that's a lot of money too. Okay. We're just gonna exchange some of these fuckers. She's got those. Alright, we're gonna sell. Sell. Yeah, we're grabbing that. I've seen a gameplay of it. Oh, nice. Yoni, really? That's something else. No, it's not Yoni eggs. You, fuck's sake. Wow. Oh, fuck that. That was an edgelord over there. That's an edgelord. My kid brother said the new Pokemon game looks really, really cool. Would you agree to that, Stony? Yeah, I know what you mentioned. That's an edgelord. Edgelord. There we go. We got 6 edgelords now. Summon a storm that echoes 22% down. Nah, bludgeoneer. We're gonna get rid of those. Grab that one. Sorry, I really gotta focus a little bit here. Just to make sure I get all the dudes I need. He's so good though. Just as a heavyweight. I don't want him, I don't think. There we go. Changing him. Okay, I'm here. New Pokemon, what's it called again? Legends Z to A. Z to A. Z till A. As we say in Swedish. Alright. It's insane that I got Pandora's items for that. I should be able to make this into something really, really badass. If it just don't fuck up. Alright. Extract all. Extract here. There we go. I'm gonna see if we can convert some stuff. Fucking convert, baby. Whoa, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, I get it. Jeez, I just heard my own voice reading Pride and Prejudice to me. Fuck's sake, I need like another Bastion. I need to change her for a Bastion. Or a heavyweight. I mean that's a heavyweight, fuck it. You're hot, dad, I want to take home. Nice. Let's see. Bastion is probably the better choice there. All depends though. Prodigy, Protector, nothing. Nice. Alright. I think we're gonna survive this, and then we're gonna star up to 4 costs, and that's gonna push us over the edge, I think. Oh my gosh. Let's see, Edgelord. Yeah, let's go with Darius. Wait, no. No. Fuck Darius. Alright, let's see what we get here. Fuck yes, that is the ticket. That is the ticket. 3-star Saya, Edgelords full up. We're gonna grab her power snacks and give it to her instead. Alright, he needs like Steric's Rage, I think. Alright. Yup. I got it unlocked now. Alright, Fuck it. Let's go with that one. Gotta get to school. Have a great day. Alright, go to school. Thanks for checking in, bestie. Appreciate you. Just gonna check this real quick. Nice. All right, so the MP3 converter is working pretty well. So we're just going to continue with that while we play this game as well. Don't really want the heavyweights. What do I want to exchange him for, though? It's like the Braum, right? Luchador and Bastion. Let's just go with that one. Erky Murky. Add more files. Just gonna add all of them. Convert. Too many jobs at once. Okay. Do-do-do-do. I don't really need more of her, I don't think. Oh, fuck off. Yes! There we go. I win. Ooh. Dude, this is something I'm usually bad at, is pivoting. Like finding two Yonis, knowing that I just need the third and the items. Change this game. Like, I think I'm gonna win because of that. And that's just another Now, more proof to myself that pivoting in this game is vital. You gots to pivots. It's an attack fighter, attack fighter, attack fighter, magic tank. Alright, we'll see. We'll see what we can do. We need to download chapter 5 as well. Chapter 6. What do you mean pivoting? Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't want to hear my own voice all the time. Let's see. Download chapter 7. MP3. There we go. Right, I have supposedly downloaded all the chapters I recorded for the wife into MP3 formats now. Hello, X-Gamer. Good morning. How are you? Sterix, Titans, Bloodthirster. We're gonna give him the Hand of Justice. Ooh, Edge of Night for Volibear as well? Maybe. How you doing, X-Gamer? What's up? You waiting for the train? You're in school right now, I think. If you're not skipping school, that is. Oh man, I'm fine. Already in school. Yep. Nice. It's nice to know that you're fine. There we go. Almost missed my train though because I forgot my keys. Well, that's what the kids call a skill issue, innit? You could use the same ones as this guy. Like most of my carries need the same type of items. I mean, all right. So we got our chapters. Chapters 1 through 10 have been converted into MP3s. Oh, come on, really? Fuck it then. Happens to all of us at some point, yeah. Happens to all of us at some point, and it's always a skill issue. Let's see. Alright, so we fixed the sound book, the audiobook sound book. It's all MP3s at least. I need to check my emails, all of them, as well. I really need a game where I don't have to pay much attention, but that I can tab into every now and then and make some decisions. And where it's like you're locked out of game decisions for X amount of time each time you've made a decision. Like a couple minutes or something. Or a minute. Like, there's a game I have, Blacksmith Master Blacksmith. Fuck, I don't remember the name of the game that I've been playing like crazy. But it's like you start a day for the blacksmiths.
He was he's trying to provoke me here.
I am. You start a day for the blacksmiths, and it'll just run. Like, it's all automated. You have workers working automatically and shit like that. So it's not. Yes, I need those types of games where it's like, oh, I make decisions and then I start the day, and the day will like automatically run. Bye bye, X Gamer. Have a wonderful time. Luchador. That fucking Swain is a problem. He's a huge problem. Not gonna win. GG, well played. Follow me at DrVem on Twitch. There we go. I should copy that one and just blast it every time I play any game. I think. We're gonna move this away. What's he even doing? Sorcerers, right? Yeah. Some Star Guardians. Sorcerer Bastion, that's a good comp. GG's. Alright, promoted gold 3. And we're gonna take a little breaky break. Because I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Alright, gang. It is time to get back and have copious amounts of sex with your mothers. What up? Oh my gosh. Ducky's been having fun in chat, posting all the fucking emotes. So cute. Love the squid. I love having a standing desk because now I can bounce. I can twerk. Oh yeah. You can't see me twerking. You were with me for a sec? Wow. I hear you're a quitter. Alright, we need to check he-mails. Then you added mother. Yeah, I know. Always gotta make it weird, you know? Always gotta make it weird. How you doing, Ducky? Shouldn't you be asleep, by the way? Isn't it a little bit too late for you, young lady? Shouldn't you be in bed? Making a sleepy sleep? Right, we got crew strategists. Let's see what we can do with that. If we start with this, feels like we should continue. It's only midnight. It's only midnight. I really don't like the monster trainer. I think she sucks ass. Alright, we got wraiths. I like wraiths. I like crystal guardians. I'm waiting for my bedtime story from Stony. Oh my gosh. After round 5-2, this Champions League start become 4-star. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm gonna grab that one, see if we. Ooh, Supreme Cell. Love me a Supreme Cell. Oh, but I do love some heavyweights. Heavyweights. I don't even know what that bedtime story is. It's probably something perverted. Swear to God. Wait, where did I grab you? We can grab the Juggernaut as well, I guess. Training dummy? I don't know. I don't know about Clear Mind either. Let's take damage from sorcerer abilities, deal 20% less damage. But it's very early to just grab or to choose sorcerers. Fuck it, why not? We're going for sorcerers. Sorcerer Bastion has to be then, right? You're not a sorcerer. You're a sorcerer. You're not a sorcerer. Let's give that to you. You get mechs. Don't think I'm winning this fight. Alright, we're gonna see if that's not opened. Alright, so we got some stuff. some school stuff we gotta deal with. Ooh, Bastion. Alright, so Sorcerer's Bastion, we got it going. Thing is, like, with this, I'm very much telegraphing what I'm going for very early on, so it's not going to be that hard to defeat me. Like, all I can hope for now is to just look out and get a bunch of Bastions and sort of Sorcerers. Oh my gosh. Alright. Bastion, Bastion. Got a sorcerer there, got a sorcerer there. We're going for 4 sorcerers at the moment. Is what I'm thinking, at least. Alright, we got some school stuff. Fuck off. Just let me rate. School stuff. Alright, there we are. No, I'm actually gonna open this window as well, because like it's warm with this on, but I don't want to take off my... Don't want to take it off. She had Midas touch, right? Yeah. Oh. There. Alright, so we kind of know what's happening. I might take a seat sooner or later today, just so everyone's aware. These two could be fun, though. Three Star Guardians. Really need Karma and Swain. Those are really the big ones, I think. Fuck's sake, yeah, he got the Swain already there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Alright. Going into the DrVem mail. See what's going on there. One of my local food stores has monsters. 2 for 21, 2 for 25 Swedish crowns. That's cheap. Right, now we're getting all those Black Week emails. Wait, is she singing "You Can't Fuck Yourself to Sleep"? Yo. Yeah, we have Black Friday. It's become Black Week here instead. So instead of just one day, we have a whole week of things. But it's immediately just grabbed from America. Like it's in America. It is an American import. We love a deal just as much as the next guy. They have like a sale on pants. What the fuck? Quite so, quite so. Yeah, it says America intensifies. Oh my gosh. That one is so loud as well. Alright. Let's see. Discord billing has been emailing me a fuck ton like, hey, your payment failed, your payment failed, your payment failed. We gotta... I think we gotta deal with that. Scan QR code. That's me. Let's see what we can do here. And on December 9th. Oh, right, yeah, because my motherfucker. Yeah. Yes. We're doing that one. Y'all can't see my credit card or anything right now, right? I hope not, at least. There we go. Nice. Can't see my credit card. There we go. Wow. All right. Then that should be good now. All right, we fixed the Discord payments. Fucking yes, Shadow Clone. Oh my gosh. Shadow Clone is such a good get. Such a fucking dog. Wow. Payment succeeded. It fucking hopes so. Let's see here. Definitely grab the sorcerer there. Let's see what we can do with her. Tanksilla is always a good one. There we go. I'm good with that. My Bandai Namco profile would be deleted. Yeah, that's totally fine. I don't even know why I still have that. Got a gift sub. Nice. Holy shit, my stuff is still being auto-uploaded to YouTube. I think Soul Thread set that up. Or is he doing that manually? Oh my gosh. Hello. Fucking 5-cost sorcerer right there. Well, now we know what we're going for. What does she need? Nothing that I have. Yeah, we're gonna grab the power snacks and place it on her. All other sources of ability power give 35% more. Yes, let's go with that. There we are. Gonna have that sorcerer as well. And then we'll have 6 sorcerers. Yeah, so we're gonna get rid of her. I think that's the way to go here, really. Because then we'll have 6 sorcerers and we will have started our Swain build. I could go for a bit, maybe back. Go to sleep, Ducky. Go to sleep. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate you. Love ya. Go to sleep. We're gonna do Spirit Link. There we I got that bastion. I just need more bastions now. Soul fighters? Oh shit, wait. What kind of soul fighter would we get though for the fourth one? I don't even know. Take action. Got it. Yeah. Dismiss. There we go. Nice. 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 Alright. We're leveling up. I think we gotta give power snacks to him. I'm gonna give him spiky shell. All right. Yeah, I definitely need this one and a recurve bow to give to Gwen. I think that's the play here. That's the fourth soul fighter, though. Man. Once per comment, 40% again. Health shield. Fuck it. Okay, well, I died there. It's Prodigy and Star Guardians, right? Jesus, that's a lot of Star Guardians. He got those 8 Star Guardians. Holy fuck. With a side of Prodigy. Cool. Let's go with that instead. Spirit Visage. Let's place her there instead. Maybe she won't take as much damage. Stream summaries, don't really care. What up, Godsmack? Big Sexy! How you doing, friend? What's happening? Good morning. Hello, good morgon. Hur mår du? Let's see. Your epic, you have epic rewards expiring soon? I don't give a fuck about that though. Oh, this I actually do have to pay. It's a bill. That's hiding in there. I am doing quite okay. I'm standing by my desk now, like a proper gentleman, and trying to deal with the fact that I have a bum back. Like, standing hurts my back, and it is very, very annoying. Sorcery? Sorcery? Let's get rid of him then. Quite okay is okay. Nice. It's good to hear, mate. Bloody lovely it is. Ah, it's fucking crew. Yeah. The crew. Wait, I should have that payment info in another app here. Let's just grab the Soul Fighter, see what happens. Fuck that one. Alright, let's see. Kivra. I love that. We have like a government sanctioned app where you get all your bills, all your important mail, like all government mail and stuff. Just everything in one place. If she can go fuck herself then. There we go. Let's see. It's not looking too good for old Mr. Vem here. Which account is it going into? Fuck off. That's the account. What do we even want here? We could steal stuff from other people, I guess. What am I even doing? I feel like I'm fucking up royally right now. Fuck it. We're here. We're here. we're doing what we're doing. Yeah, I dealt with that one. I don't give a fuck about that. I got some letter about my pension. It's so far away, I don't even need to care about it. Oh my gosh. Oh my actual gosh. We gotta wait for this then. I love this genre of music. Just angry female punk. The male punk rock tends to be a little bit too edgy for me. A little bit too try hard, if you know what I mean. Cause I'm a fucking feminist, bro. Roar. Alright, I did not have that. Here we go. There's the payment info that I was looking for. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. Alright, fuck it. Doing that one then. Ah, fuck yeah, man. I mean, we're cooking now. We might actually win this. No, I'm just kidding. We're top 4, and that's something, you know? There we go. I think that's a good get, I feel. He's not as big as the one we saw in the previous round, but you know, it's something. Let's see, that's my payment reference. Welcome to the DrVem channel, where we're doing banking while playing some teamfight tactics. You might think, is this really awesome content? And DrVem would say, yeah, it is. Look at me being all adult and responsible.
Yourself, you fucking
labradoodle! Yes. Demean me, daddy. Oh my gosh. I am such a cutie pie, don't you think? Let's see. Hehehe. You know you like it. GG, well played. Follow me at DrVem on Twitch. Hashtag marketing. I'm gonna do that, but only for the last person who's like top 2 with me. Ah, fuck, I forgot to pick a dude. That's the only way to deal with people, I feel. Alright, they got that payment. Nice. Alright. Holy shit, the DrVem email has been checked and cleared. We are done with that shit. Now we're just gonna check the next one. Ah, first place! You suck. Come on. Some Trump dancing here for you. Fuck waiting for stats. Let's play another ranked. I mean, he said I suck, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just lean into it then. Oh, gosh. I don't give a fuck about that one. So I get emails from like the students, because since I'm studying, I have this thing called Mecenat, which is basically like a card filled with special prices only for students. We get X amount of % off of most things in Sweden if you're a student. And I get emails from that government company like almost every day. Like, oh, this deal is now live. This deal is now live. This deal is now live. It's like very seldom I actually use any of the deals, but I still want the emails just because, like, you never know. You never know. Let's see. All right. Vill du hjälpa oss bli bättre? Nej, tack. All right. Ooh, at the end of the month, there's an event in town that me and the wife went to last year. Probably want to do that again this year. And I recently sent in like a DNA thing as well. It was like 23andMe. So I'm waiting for that. But they also want to sell me like, hey, do you want to upgrade your package? You'll get a report on genetic risks, indicating your risk to develop things like cardiac disease, breast cancer, Parkinson's, and stuff. Like, I already know those things about me, though. Like, we have heart disease in the family, and like Alzheimer's and dementia and stuff. So, like, I know those things. I kind of just want my fucking DNA profile. Okay, so the raw data has been processed. Just waiting for the results then. Cool. Setting that over there. Alright, that was a quick check on the secondary Gmail. Let's check our Hotmail. I am a lizard. Rawr. Oh my lord. I think after this game we're gonna grab a quick break. It's either my computer that's acting all Russian today or someone else's computer is acting all Russian. That's actually a thing like we say in Sweden. Like if someone has a crap computer, we call it Ryssdator, or Russian computer. And I know that it's from like early days when people would like compete online in Counter-Strike. We still have modems, not like proper broadband. Especially the Russian competitors or Russian players would have the shittiest fucking internet connection, and you'd have to wait for them, and they lag out and shit. Sucked ass. And that became such a thing in Swedish gaming culture that now, like, if you have a bad connection, you're known as having a Russian computer. It's the same dude as well. I hope he's watching the stream now. Let's see. Woo. I mean, this is a good start. Like, Juggernaut and Soul Fighter, decent. I've never played full Juggernaut before. Ooh, and I do love me some Supreme Cells. After 2 takedowns, stun enemies within 2 hexes. No, unflinching. Fuck yeah, man. Rawr. That's the wrong one. I mean, it's not that many people who are, like, on the EU servers 9 o'clock on a Monday. So, like, of course we're gonna fight this guy again. Ooh, that's actually a good one. He got himself, a Malzahar, I think it was, right? Yeah, it's a Malzahar. Dope. That's actually awesome for him. I mean, can always go for Prodigy or Star Guardians. Like, they're never bad. Duelist Crown? No. No, we're doing Pandora's Item. We got Star Guardian there. Nice. Habibi Plus. Hey, Pixie! How you doing, Pixie? I'm doing good. I'm here. Rawr. That's a soul fighter as well. I'm having a good day. Checking my email. I've converted some sound files. And I'm standing. Playing the norm once human. Oh yes. Godsmack, you gotta be nice to Pixie. Swear to fucking God, Godsmack. Give me your butt to show. Anyway, it's me and eFacts. Top players. Things like, I'm gonna go for this. Like, I fucking might. What does the word nice mean? True. Pixie is awesome. This is true. She's cool. She's cool. She's cute. She's funny. She's Pixie. Yay! Nobles would be so mad knowing that I give Pixie compliments. He thinks we should be really, really mean to her all the time. Weird Swedish thing. Nah. No, I love to riot. Bam, ba-da-dun, dun, 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 da-da. Wait, we gotta increase the volume on this one. No, cause you know I love to riot. Oh my gosh, it's another Star Guardian. Only time I hear the word nice is when a forest is on fire! Fire! I love to riot. Bam, ba-da-dum, bam, 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 ba-dum. Cause you know I love to riot. Such a good song. Why am I standing while playing? Because I've been missing my standing desk. Like with the old setup, I couldn't do a standing desk. And honestly, inspired by Nobles. Like, he stands all of his streams. And I was like, fuck, I should probably try that out. I think it's better for my back, because I have a bad back. But it gets worse by sitting a lot. And standing up, walking around a little bit, like jumping and stuff, is better for the body. Circulation is definitely better. And also, like, if I'm standing up, I can just do squats, middle of everything. Here I am. Oh no, where did DrVem go? There he is. Oh no, where did DrVem go? There he is. I'm a grown man. But the kurva. Did he say? Ach du Scheiße Hund. Wie geht's? I don't know if that's how it's spelled, but you know how these millennials are. He carried in groceries, now he has a backpack. Yeah, that's the way. Hey, not that rude, buddy. Oh, come on!
The debt must be paid. Right. Now.
Fuck sake. Alright, hey Nobles. What up, buddy boy? You're just gonna check your... Yeah, alright. Balls. Oh my gosh. Alright. Push-ups! Yay! Ouch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ouchies. Oh my gosh. Thanks for the sub, Nobles. You're such a sweetie pie.
Nobles_TV just subscribed.
Oh my
You are
gosh.
seen and appreciated.
6 months. Oh my gosh. It's like almost a serious relationship. Do one more, wanna see it. 10 is the most, motherfucker. Wait, like, if you're here, I don't have to write to you. Sup effects. Oh my gosh. I'm smart. Oh my gosh. Unestimated. I don't fully understand unestimated, but it feels like a diss. Better put a ring on it. Put a ring on. Oh yeah, right, because we've been together 6 months now. You gotta put a ring on it. A cock ring. No, sorry. I'm really happy today. I'm in a good mood. Life is okay. Balls. Well, that didn't work out at all. Cock ring. Heavyweight is bad and late. Pivot. Pivot! Change it. Do something else. I'm gonna get rid of you. I'm gonna grab that one. Nah. Alright. I feel that. See, that's how funny I am. I am hilarious. I'm such a good time. Let's go. There's a Zoroark in chat. It's a cat of Pokemons. I'm unmotivated getting first place. Just some boring home office sets. I feel that though. Free my comment. Oh, sorry. Hope you're in a good mood, having a good day. I am also happy about that. Them is gonna put a cock ring on Nobles. Interesting. Oh my gosh. There we go. God bless America. He's gonna rate it after. Maybe. How's weather down there? It's cold here. It's cold here as well. We got frost last week, and while I was driving a couple days ago, it started snowing mid-drive. It was also late in the evening, so tiger blood. That has to be a Charlie Sheen reference, right? I got 110 emails in my oldest email. You haven't had snow yet? I mean, it was only like it snowed against the car, and then there wasn't snow on the ground or anything. Arrgh. But like, yeah, we got frost. There's frost on the ground. You fucker, tiger blood. Oh, fuck yeah. That is a good get. That is not bad at all. And we're giving that to her. Nice. Alright, so we're gonna switch this over to... Hey! Who the fuck is taking Star Guardians? Nine Anas. I don't care what Pixie says about you in Noble Stream. You are good in my book. What the fuck? What's she saying about me in Noble Stream? That bitch talking shit? I'm lurking in Noble Stream as well, so... I can see shit. Starting crap. Oh, is this the classic, like, oh, I don't care what people say, I think you're an awesome dude. Just to start shit. We're going with that one for sure. We're just gonna level up. Could we? Yeah, we're just gonna go with Kraken's Fury there, I think. Could be decent. You missed DrVem. Good morning. Hey, nephew. What's up? I'm just gonna redeem a DrVem's fault on Noble's stream. Oh my gosh. It's kind of cute seeing Nobles' two girlfriends fighting like this. I think you can both suck it at the same time. I think Nobles would be okay with that. Just double teaming it like... Sorry. Sorry. Jesus fucking Christ. Too much fun. Alright, we're checking my credit card invoice. Fuck. You, Pixie, you and Godsmack are Nobles' girlfriends. Or partners, I guess. Don't want to misgender anyone. I know a fucking woke Godsmack. No, sorry. Oh my gosh. I need to shut the fuck up more. Star Guardian emblem. You can put that on you. Is very true. I agree. Effects. He wants you to come to Noble's Spank Emporium. Mmm. Nom 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 nom. Noble Spankaporium. Nom nom nom. Let's go to the Emporium. Nom nom nom. Let's see. We need an Ari and either an emblem or a Seraphine as well. Did you beat the king as well? I did. I did. I unlocked all the rulers. I think there's only 2 things left in the upgrade part that I haven't unlocked. And I got to like level 7 difficulty. Next 4-cost champion you buy is instantly upgraded to 2-star. Now we're gonna grab the heroic grab bag instead. Nerd, yeah, no, dude, you introduced me to it, and I just didn't put it down for like a week plus, I think. And I'm fucking mainlined that shit. Oh fuck, that was an Ari. Oh my gosh, there we go. See, you miss one Ari, and one more will present itself with a little Saya. A little bit of Saya on my mind. Right, fight. Suck my dick, Sylvain. I'm gonna grab a break after this game. Do you wanna join me after that, nephew? You're allowed to be in my bracket. I can accept it, you know. Bastion. Kurva. I really like my front line though. Like I don't wanna. In TFT, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. In the Tift. Alright, I gotta exchange someone for the 8th Star Guardian now. Oh my gosh. I think I still want the Edgelord, because that's the win con on Saya here. This set is giga ass. This is true. But I win a lot with it, so. That's how we do it. Wow. Fuck that one. Alright, we got it. Thing is, like, I don't know what to do here, 'cause no, we don't need more of you. We could get more Shens. This Wednesday next will be the new set. Ooh. That means we gotta play that as well. Bobby Nightshade. I think I handed him his bouquet. Let's see. We're gonna buy this Braum just to fuck with effects. Oh no, wait, never mind. I thought he wanted the Braum. Never mind then, we're selling it again. Who even cares about a Braum? Oh, you fucker! Grabbing my heavyweight there. It's so mean. So mean. Let's see. We are going to pay from my account, and we're gonna pay. We're gonna pay poop. I gotta pay off my credit card. Don't wanna get repoed. At that date. What happens if I get a 3-star Jinx? Like, what am I gonna do with that? Yeah, you know what? I think we're going to pump up our front line right quick. No hot girls in hell. There's no hot girls in hell. Alright, so that was our credit card invoice. Oh, fuck, I got so many emails from fucking LinkedIn. Hate getting emails from LinkedIn. Like, I keep unsubscribing from those emails as well, but they still keep coming. It kind of feels like LinkedIn is not respecting my boundaries here. And I'm not okay with that. You should respect people's boundaries. That's just the way it is. There's no hot girls in hell. Girls in hell. Top 4, baby. Do we want another Shen? We do, I think. Doing it right? Am I doing it right? Oh, fuck it, we're getting rid of him. There we go. Remove that shit. Freedom awaits. Efex is still here, but he has a fucking Meeting soon. I always think it's a job interview or something like that when I get emails from, but no. Seriously though. Like that's one of the reasons I hate getting emails from them. Did I get an offer? No. Unless you count offering to suck they dick counts. I am a fully normal man. I am a fully normal man. What's coming soon to Netflix? You know, I'm just gonna erase all of these things in my inbox. There we go. Fuck off. Bobby, how could you? I thought what we had was special. Rage baiting LinkedIn. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Rusta has Black Week as well. Höj och sänkbart skrivbord. I already have one of those. They have an air fryer. Grilled sandwich machine maker thingy. Yeah, I don't fucking care about any of that. Get clapped effects. I swear if we place top 2 again, it's gonna be insane. Alright, Power got Black Week's deals as well. I can't really buy shit right now. My economic situation isn't as good as it has been in the past. Because I don't have a job right now. I am a full-time student. And full-time mega famous streamer. It's okay. I'll send you my autograph. Come on. I can't lose this fight. No! Your bench is full. Your mom's full. A dick. There we go. I don't fucking know what to do. What should I do? Wabba-dooba-doo. Another Archangel. Just go nuts. Had to, sorry. What'd you do? What'd you do? What did you do? So bad. Your mom's bad. Fucking top 3, baby. Top 3. I'm about to top me. Well, there we go. 3-star. Yeah. Dance party, yeah. It is so much more fun standing at a desk while streaming than sitting down. I feel like I have way more energy standing up. Bobby's gonna fucking demolish us. He's got them duelists. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Yeah, follow me. I've been writing that at the end of each game, but only to the one sharing top 2 with me, if I get top 2. Wait, I did 10 push-ups before. Motherfucker, I forgot to change it. There we go. I mean, what can I do here, really? Realistically, he's gonna beat my ass. There's no way I win. Star Guardian! Starting! I use OBS, yeah. OBS via Steam, actually. Because OBS is on Steam. So that's where I'm at. Why? Are you gonna get into the streaming game? Because I swear to God, if you're gonna fucking challenge me in the streaming game, I'm gonna... Don't at me, bro. Don't at me. And it's free. Like, OBS is free, has always been free, will always be free. Otherwise, I'll burn them to the ground. Let's see. Star Guardian? Whee! I won't be able to spend all that mana either. Fuck. Alright, well. Tried to get another frontliner there, but that did not happen, did it? I'm just moving shit around. You do want to try it someday? Play video games almost every day? You should. It's fun. It's good fun. Makes you think a lot about, like, how you act online and stuff as well. So, like, I act a fool always. GG. Second place. But, like, also, like, streaming has given me the kind of understanding, a bit more understanding about myself in that, like, I've always been a silly person, and I've always had an easy time getting friends. But streaming has really showed me as well that, like, oh shit, it's not just people in my near vicinity. It's like actual people online who are just about will see me and be like, hey, that dude's kind of rad, and that makes me feel nice. It boosts your ego, which is nice. I'm gonna have this red button there. All right, I'm gonna take a break, and then we're probably gonna continue with this and continue on my to-do list. So I'll see you soon, gang. Bye. Have you ever seen my dick? Hey, I'm back. Oh my god. I had to brush my teeth and oil up my beard and hair as well. So that's why it took such a long time. Sorry for being not here when you were here. I should have been here for you. But I wasn't. And I'll never forgive myself for that. Right. All oiled up. Slay. Like, I've had... fuck is it called in English? Like dead skin falling off my face because I don't take care of my face enough. So I've bought all these different oils, and I got one this August that's made for like all hair. So when I'm feeling lazy, I just take that oil and just oil everything up, and it's good for the skin, good for my hair. So. Wait, the wife sent me a snap. I gotta send it one back. That's how we do it. That's how we do it, chat. Alright. I had like a to-do list in my phone for today. Alright, so we have like a couple different things I can do. I'm only streaming until 11, so it's another hour. So either I'm going to take texts that I've written by hand and put them on the computer. Just saying it out loud feels like, oh, that's a project. Or we're gonna fix with Tangia. We're gonna have fun with Tangia and stream stuff. That's what we're doing. I'm deciding right now. Ooh. Jesus, wait, all of these are good. Getting a Darius this early on is fucking dope, though. Like, if we focus on him, he can carry. So we need, like, heavyweights and supreme cells. Get soul fighters there. Don't want any of these. Alright. Well, we're getting juggernauts as well, I guess. At the moment. Yeah. This is the play here. Like, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, I got a Darius first pull. And I just focused on, like, supreme cells and heavyweights to build him up, and it was just insane. All units holding a frying pan or spatula. No, fuck that shit. Get a random gold augment and 4 gold. Fuck off with that. Investment strategy. Spoils of war. Spoils of war every fucking day, baby. We got some supreme cells here as well. So yeah, we're gonna get rid of those. I don't care if it's early. I'm hard locking supreme cells. Darius carry. Like I got one of the key items on him already. Got that giant's belt. All I need is a sword, and he'll have Steric's rage. And then all we need is the bloodthirster, and he's gonna carry us to the win, or at least top 2. Also, Spoils of War, regardless of which level, is such a fucking good augment. Spoils of War and Pandora's items. Those are the ones I always pick if I can. Right, I think are we just gonna sit here? No. I know he's gone. I want to level up just because, like, getting a bigger percentage chance of getting more Darius is kind of useful. Kind of useful. Like, if he's going to be our carry, we want to max out the chance of getting him. There we go. Here we are on Tanja. Continue with Twitch. Heavyweight. I mean, he could probably be better to have right now, I think. I'm just gonna stay here for a little while. He's trying to provoke me? Set up Tanja Grid? I did that already, actually. Interactions. What happens if I... only I heard that one and that was super fucking loud. And I lost. Oh, come on. Let's see, we got some heavyweights, but what we really want is the sword. Probably not going to get the sword, though. Or are we? No, fuck off. Graggle my balls. Let's grab that then. Alright, we're just gonna stay here for a little while. Da, 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 da. Alright. We get some good fucking interactions here as well. Like the Letterkenny fucking embarrassing one, the David Attenborough TTS. You're making a fool of yourself. Some good shit. What can I say? Like, I'm checking through to see, like, okay, can we delete something? We have Ask Nice Enemy and Enemy TTS. I feel like we should only have one of them. I don't know. Get the stretch. I'm gonna remove Silly Goose, actually. And Fun Fact. Fuck those things. Jump scare is fine. Sing a song will remove. No cursing is fine. Time out somebody else. Cool. Need a better accent is a fun one. No laughing and Swedish only. IRL word bound. Big DrVem little game. Fuck that shit. Don the Rizzler shirt. I think we're actually gonna remove that one as well. Well, no, it's just turned off. Let's not remove it. Ah, oh, fuck off. Got 3 Sayas there. We're gonna remove translate a song because I did that once and it didn't, like, I translated the actual song, but I didn't know how to use it from there, you know. Oh, nice Sterix. There we go. Can I see how many I have now? No. We want more Tanja interactions though. Let's see here. You're not my supervisor! Right, and that's the challenge points, and then we have favorited ones. Cool. Why is Duck with a boner a favorite? What the fuck? Alright. Alright, yeah. We're grabbing that one for channel points. Fuck Pandora's Bench. Like, as good as Pandora's items is, Pandora's Bench sucks major nuts. It's so fucking shit. Alright, let's update the dashboard, see if we got the new one here. I'm trying not to cry. We're gonna put that down to 50 points instead. There we go. And we're fighting, and we're fighting, and we're fighting. Oh my gosh. Ah, there's so many things here. Yeah, we're gonna do the Pedro for channel points. We're updating shit, chat. We can do it for 150. That's fine. That's fine. Let's see. All right. Successful. Let's fucking go. Let's find more. Oh my gosh, we're gonna... That's no. Nope. That's the wrong one.
You're making a fool of yourself, you fucking labradoodle!
I agree. Alright, we're adding that one. I added one just for nobles now as well. Let's see if it's up here. Yep.
Lizard.
Jesus,
Lizard.
that's big.
Lizard. 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 Lizard.
Perfect. Perfect. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. Get fucked, man. Another Supreme Cells, you can get fucked. Heavyweight, heavyweight. Heavyweight. No, it's all good there. Hey, Seven! Thanks for the lurk. Love you. You're a wonderful person. And I'm happy to have you here. Woo-hoo. I got friends supporting me in my streaming shit. Woo-hoo. My gosh. And we gotta shout out Seven as well. Seven plays a lot of Baldur's Gate and some Dead by Daylight with the Beegs Jaffa Lava. And Seven is just a wonderful fucking person. Awesome. In all the ways. Paris next. Stunned. Let's go with that one. Heavyweight. It's been too long. I have to be in office 3 days a week now, which means I can no longer hang out on streams much as like. That fucking sucks. Fuck the office. Burn it down. Oh my gosh. No, thank you for being here. For being a friend. I haven't like been watching streams as much as I would like to. There's been so much going on with like mental health and then also people visiting and shit, and that there's just everything. But I feel like we're getting back to it, you know? We're getting back to the zone, brother! But I need another Supreme Cell. And we need like 2 more heavyweights, I think. I gotta focus. Let's grab that one. Murder, murder, murder. Kill, kill, kill. Did you say fuck off, Kyle? Hope your well life has had a bad habit of getting away with joining stuff. For sure. I am well. Today, and generally, at the moment, I am very well. I'm having a good time. And I'm not hating life right now, which is always a good thing, right? It's beautiful, is what it is. All right, thieves' gloves. We don't want to scare anybody. That's not true. I want to scare children. This is pretty dope, though. We can give that to him for now. I think I'm not. I think I'm not the worst at this game. I might be decent at this game. At least towards the end of a season and midday when no one real is playing. Heroic grab bag, baby. Okay, that's two. So I need one more of him and we can 3-star him. There we go. Now it's happening. Yes, heroic grab bag is such a good thing to get. Like, that is impressive. 3-star Darius this early. Oh yeah, for sure I got this. Like, at this point, I'm gonna win. T-Game 2? What the fuck are you even playing? Star Guardians and a Monster Hunter. You're gonna get your ass handed to you by that Darius right there. That Darius that's jumping around everywhere. All I need is one fucking sword. One sword. One BF sword. And then it's over. Then it's over. It's really nice being able to stand at this desk, actually, and having all this room now. The new setup here is pretty fucking good. Placing another heavyweight there. Alright, we're saving that for now. I got so many champion duplicators here. Team building and heroic grab bag. And then I got one from Spoils of War as well recently. That's why we could 3-star him. Like, I'm lucking out so bad right now. Like, I wish all of this was skill, but honestly, so much of this game is luck-based. You gotta have the right pulls. And that's not anything you can really affect. Just leave the sword, please, please, please. Yes. Shing, shing. Sword. There you go. Fuck off with that guy. Supreme Cells heavyweight. Oh my fucking god, we got him. We got it, boys, we got it! We'll sell you, grab you. We'll sell you, grab you. And he got that Crimson Veil as well. So overhealing from Omnivamp converts to shield. And he heals from his ability, from this one, and from Crimson Veil. So he heals a fuck ton. Jesus Christ. Like, this is not going to be fun for anyone. I should probably hit level 9. Oh, fuck. Well, whatever. I should aim for level 9. And yeah, level 9. 6 heavyweight, 4 supreme cells. And at level 9, I'll just ball out. Spend all my money. I think that's the way we gotta do this. No, Panda Wanda has given up, seems. They might have actually, like, logged out. I'm gonna have lunch later. So fucking excited for lunch. Got me a linguine pasta dish that I really like. I've made it myself, you know. I kind of want this dude. Yeah. There's one more Aatrox. Aatrox. Aatrox? Aatrox. Let's go. Alright. Oh, come on. Thank you. You're an attack marksman. Whoa! Mr. Mars! What up, Morsey Porus? Thanks for the sub, motherfucker. Oh my god, you deserve a haiku. That's the rule, right? Didn't fucking Nobles resubscribe as well before? Oh my god. And I haven't done the haikus in such a long time that I entirely forgot. Alright, we're gonna do Morse first. How are you, dude? Just woke up. Fucking kids today, you know? Today's youth. They ain't got no, what do you say? Sense of urgency. Hope you had a good sleep, friendo. Yeah, let's just... That's probably good, right? Oh my gosh. Thanks for the sub, man. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. You, right there. With your newly awoken fucking head. I'm thinking. I'm marinating this fucking haiku. No. I have a lecture soon, so I can't stay long. Go to your lecture. Go to your lecture. I'll post the haiku on the Discord if you're not here to hear it, so you won't miss it. I want to rhyme today. We got to rhyme stuff here. Yes. All right. Morse's haiku. I appreciate your presence and intellect. Lol, motherfucker. Cool. I will have fun TFTing, Moors. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Appreciate you so much. Did I lose? Who the fuck did I lose against? See, Morse comes in, becomes my little sub. No, fuck. Sorry. And I immediately lose focus. Oh my gosh. Alright, Nobles. We gotta make a haiku for Nobles. Let's see. Yeah, we're just gonna continue this. We're top 4. It's good enough. And I'm not rhyming very much now. This one actually rhymed a little bit and became quite poetic, but still disgusting, you know? Like, we're not gonna move away from our roots here. And that's it, we've won. There you go. Bramble Vest. Oh my gosh. Let's see if Nobles is streaming, and we'll. So the thing is, spank me daddy-o. Please add me to your harem. Zound me stereo. Which is funny, because zounding with a Z is when you put stuff in someone's pee-pee hole. This is probably not for everyone. We got an ad starting in 3 minutes as well, so, you know, you're welcome. Let's see. I still just want my money, I think. We were 1 away from 3-star in Kabuko. Crystal Gambit? Yeah. If he gets 7 and gets that rolling, he's gonna be... They become unbeatable, the Crystal Gambit. Oh, and you got so many different thingies. Yeah. Not beating him. But you know, we're gonna have fun, at least. Alright, he's smiling at least. Hopefully he enjoyed it. I can't listen to him right now. Alright, that's about it. Oh my gosh, that is such a good name. Le lobotomisateur. It's a good name. No, seriously? Am I losing here? Holy shit. How? You fucker of mothers. Fuck it, we're grabbing this one. Okay, do I still have... Wait. Follow me at DrVem on Twitch. Hashtag marketing. Am I gonna get banned from fucking Riot if I keep doing this? Is it like illegal? Fuck that one. Dude, or I'll cry. I'm just kidding. Jesus. Oh my gosh. All hail le lobotomisateur. Le lobotomisateur. Fucking awesome game, dude. GG's. God damn, he just handed my ass to me there. Must have been so nice though, because like getting a good game with gambits or gamblers is like almost impossible. But there is no sweeter feeling than like going down to that small health percentage and then flipping it because you saved so much on the gambler stuff, and just becoming undefeated, unbeatable. Oh my gosh, all those fucking oh, what's it called? The things that made him be able to have other traits. Insane, just so good. I'm just gonna look out here. There's some outside my window. It's insane. How can there be outside? Oh fuck's sake! You actually followed.
Hello,
Thanks, dude.
Just followed. So nice.
Woo! Dude, that's so sweet. You really didn't have to. I've been doing it all day. If I place top 2, I do that hey follow me if or follow me thing. Just because like I hate when people try to market their Twitch on games. But I don't know. I had the energy today. I was like, yeah, if I place top 2, I'm gonna market my Twitch. So thanks for the fucking follow. Le lobotomisateur. It's a really good name. I just have a hard time pronouncing it. It's okay, you're funny. I try to be. And sometimes I don't try to be funny, and I still am. And people laugh at me.
Wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
You love me. You love that I'm awkward, man. Fuck you! Let's see here. What were we doing? Right, we were fucking around with Tanja. As well. Hey, we get some new Tanja interactions. Wait, where's the other one? Oh. Ah, yes. Such a good one. so good. It's so good. I gotta add the crab rave as well, I think. We're adding that one for channel points as well. Dang. Alright, still loading. Someone has a Russian computer. We're just gonna have it for 150 as well, fuck it. Wait, we can actually name it something else. There we go. Hey, welcome back, gang. I didn't even know we were in an ad. That's how shitty of a streamer I am. Don't even know when there's an ad on. But here we are, we're back. We're still in the fucking loading screen, because... Like, I know it's not my computer. I have proper good fucking internet access. Alright, 98%. Let's go. We're here. Level 22 Raichu. That's a good name. All augments are prismatic. Fuck yeah, I love prismatic augments. Like, I know everyone else is gonna have them as well, but... Doesn't matter. I'll have them. Alright. Wraith Heavyweight. Decent. I want to make tangent interactions of the blurps we have as well. And like most of those blurps are from like either Letterkenny or Shorzy, and I think I could make tangent interactions out of them. I just have to fix and tricks some stuff. It would be kind of fun to have the, like, your wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud, and the actual clip of it. Take it easy. Fuck, I'm hungry now as well. Well, we're only streaming for a little bit more than we're having a little bit of a lunchy poo. Oh, come on. Like, this is legit difficult for me. I got Soul Fighters and Wraiths.
Don't worry about it.
Sexy little edgelord. Don't worry about it. Jesus fucking Christ. There are obviously some blurps we're not gonna remove, ever. Don't worry about it. You no longer gain interest? No. Ooh, I love random shit. We're doing expected unexpectedness. Hey, just don't worry about it. Right. Ooh, I got a fuck ton of money. I won't say no to that. Heavyweight duelist sniper. Alright, let's go with that. You know what, fuck it. Like, if he's the carry at the moment, then he's gonna carry for a while. Like, there are a lot of times when I fail to put items on my champions because I try to wait it out. Like, I want to optimize the items, and I want to wait it out. And sometimes that is the correct play, and sometimes it's just not. Like, the Infinity Edge here. that can be useful on several different comps that I have going here. Like, we could have it on her. Even though she's an attack caster, she can still use the Infinity Edge. Sai can have the Infinity Edge as well. So we got like 3 possible comps that could use that item. An Edgelord. How about better frontline? And then a better sniper. Alright, we're moving that one. Fuck, we can up the snipers even more. That's pretty okay. Alright, fuck it. We're selling off these. We're going hard for snipers and wraiths. Snipers and heavyweights, I think, is what we're gonna do. Or try to do. And then wraith as a sub stat. It's like Wraith has 2 snipers. And if I have 1 heavyweight as well, it's gonna work. Oh my lord. I'm hungry. I want food in my tummy. Roar. Roar. Alright, we're just gonna stand there. You know, we could just check here to see what blurps we have. Let's just do blurps to Tanja. Gonna make a list. Check it twice. This feels like productive, but also not horrible. Let's see. Like, I try to make a to-do list every day, or like a list of goals that I want to achieve every day. And I realized that instead of like going just item by item, I should make a list of several different things that I want to achieve, and then just pick the ones I vibe with instead. But only pick from the list, not do anything else. The fuck am I gonna pick now? We're going for this one. Soul Fighter, we got so many more Soul Fighters now. And sorcerers. Like, it's fucking difficult just locking in. There you go. Soul Fighter, Supreme Cells. Yeah, no. Let's see what we have here. Heavyweight. And a sniper. Right, yeah, we got heavyweights and snipers there, so and a good heavyweight too. Like, we can definitely build a team around him and snipers. Darius is just a heavyweight carry. Can work. There we go. We're definitely gonna switch K for Gnar. Like, having all these fuckers hot. There we go. I'm just gonna stay there for a little while. Let's see. Sweet, I win again. How sad slash cool is it that I know exactly where these fucking blurbs come from? It's just one more sniper. And it has to be Varus, and then we can switch like Sivir or Gnar for a Jinx when the time comes. Definitely grabbing a Bloodthirster for him. Woo! Money, baby. Shit, money and lesser champion duplicators. Sweet Caroline. Blah, blah, blah. Fuck it. Oh my lord. Alright. We gotta fix the jump scare as well from somewhere. I don't know when I'm gonna fix that though. Like, I'm just making a list of like, oh, this could be fun to do when I have the chance. Fuck that one. Champions only exactly one item, upgrade the item to Radiant. That one is not bad at all. Your team gets larger. Quality over quantity. Fuck it. And we're getting some Supreme cells as well. Just because, like, he's pretty good. We could build a team around that guy. If we're going Supreme Cells, Kai'Sa's definitely gonna get the Rage Blade. Yeah, I shouldn't have leveled down the snipers, I think. Also, I need like a better front line at this point. Holy shit. Nobles has been streaming for 14 hours. Yo. We should like go into his stream and tell him to fucking knock it off. Yeah, the snipers can go fuck themselves. I'm switching it up. He's been building a lot as well. Jesus. Oh my lord. Nobles is the only one of our friends live right now as well. We got Dash Ducks live. I'm like scouting to see who we're gonna raid soon. Let's see. I got a sniper there. No, but we're telling the snipers to fuck the fuck off. This one's really good. Fuck. Oh, fuck off. Who even waits like that to steal? So mean. Colossal? Nah. Crimson Veil, baby. That one's good. Fuck, we could get rid of like those two and grab some heavyweights instead and just go full on heavyweight Supreme Cells like we've done. It feels like all stream long, honestly. It feels like that's the one we're going for. But I don't know how I'd feel about that, is all. I don't know if it's the play. But this fucking will I or won't I is definitely not the play at the moment. Alright. I'm making an executive decision. You'll get that one, I think. Store 10% max health at common star and 2% death. Deal with the store health is magic damage in a large radius. No, we're gonna force him to heal. There you go. Snipers can go fuck themselves. Probably gonna switch the Zac for the Jace. Alright, we're gonna stand off. Nobody's doing enough damage. Alright, that's it. I'm the one who loses there. Alright. Oh, man. We've been placing top 2 consistently all stream long. So I'd be totally fine if we don't even place top 4 last game. But I fucking doubt it, considering the comp we're going for again. Who? Oh, Jesus Christ in heaven. Alright, you're not gonna have any fun anymore. We need like, yeah, just more heavyweights. Last Supreme Cell. So it's just like more forecasts. Honestly. But I don't mind having like one item on everyone but Darius. Gems in your back row, fuck off. Mess hall after 10 seconds on your term skin. No, I'm done with those. I'm okay with those. That one could be cool. Ally skin, da da da. Fucking, we're going for the golden egg. We haven't picked that one in ages and ages and ages. So why not, you know? Could be fun ski. We'll just stay there for a little while. I don't want to go below 50 right now. It's like I got good HP. I got a decent comp. I can stay here for a while. Just re-roll. See what happens. Those mechs. Oh jeez, he's got a 3-star Lucian already as well. It's pretty heavy. But yeah, like, we're not gonna die before Raptors, at least. But we are on a 4 loss streak. Magic tank, attack fighter, attack tank. Magic tank, attack tank. Attack tank, attack tank, attack tank, tank, tank. Smack? Come on, you gotta do more damage, bro. He's got a pretty good front line, this dude. What the fuck? 3 hull crushers? How? Jesus Christ. I want the recurve bow. Fuck you, Ryusak, if you're grabbing it. Nice. I'm just gonna run around. Thank you. Oh my god. Oh. Woo. All right. There you go. There you go. Just gonna add frontline. Add frontline. Add plur frontline. How about this? Fuck, I don't know what I'm doing. I want to reach level 8. Actually, I want to do level 9 quickly. Just so I can get the full comp. I don't know if that's going to be good, though, considering how many people have, like, 3 stars and shit already. Star Guardian Crown. Yeah. See, I don't think I'm going to play top 4 this time around. Like, the comp that I run has been good so far. But running the same thing over and over again never means that you consistently win. You gotta change it up. And I'm kind of, like, stuck in this. Let's see if we can change it up somehow. Could we do that? I fucking doubt that's gonna do any good, but you know, here we are. Experimenting. Trying shit out. Oh my gosh. I mean, they stayed on my Kabuko for a long time. I need more damage, honestly. Like that's what I'm lacking here. Everyone's so goddamn fucking tanky. And I ain't doing shit to any of them. I'm gonna place number 8. Jesus Christ. Hey, cash me in 8th place, baby. Alright, putting him there as well, I guess. I'm not gonna get the golden egg either, so. I really need a stream deck so I can have all those things on hand. All those tangent interactions. What are we doing? Fuck it all. Fuck it all. Oh, come on. I really want to survive this one just so I can get my last Darius. It's not going to happen. I've been losing so fucking consistently. Yep. That's it. That's it, gang. We end on a loss. On a total fucking loss. Hugh just clapped DrVem. Give him a follow on Twitch. Hashtag marketing. Let's go. I don't fucking know. Oh my gosh. Exit, baby. Alright. We're gonna head over to Nobles and we're gonna tell him to fucking go to sleep, yo. That's what we're doing. Alright. Nobles. 14 hours, broski. Alright.
You're not my supervisor!
But I am. Alright. See you there. Thanks for watching. I'll probably stream tomorrow as well. Kind of same thing-ish here. Like here. See you there.